So you're well aware that there are many interpersonal communication textbooks currently available, and many of them have gone through multiple editions. How is your book going to be distinctive and stand out and do something different in this marketplace?
Well, there are good books out there by people that we respect, and I think they serve different functions than I see our books serving. As I look across the array of options, it seems to me that there are some books that emphasize more the theory side and talk about different theories of interpersonal communication, and then probably a greater number of books that focus on the skills side and give specific advice about how to improve interpersonal communication skills. What we tried to do in this book was to bring those two pieces together. And so throughout our book, you'll find skill-building tips, but they're tied very closely to the theory and research that generate them. So within every section of the book, you'll learn about the content information on a topic, and then directly right at the end of that section, you'll get 2 or 3 or 4 tips for how to translate that content into practical, concrete activities that you can use and employ to improve your interpersonal communication. So for us, we didn't want a book that didn't attend to skills, but we didn't want a book that didn't attend to the theory. And so really bringing those together in a way is something I think that's unique about this book.
Another piece is that a lot of books will have a specific context that's their touchstone throughout the book, so that they'll touch to culture, or they'll touch to health, or they'll touch to relationships, or competencies, for example. And instead of having one single touchstone in the book, we wanted a book that integrated all of those ideas within every chapter. So we've organized the book in a very functional way that moves from kind of basic aspects of individuals that we bring to interaction, and those are the foundations and the building blocks that people use in all communication interactions, regardless of culture, even though it's pervasive, regardless of relationship status. And from there we move into how interactions are organized and the various processes of communication. And then we focus on relationships in a unit and how they develop and how they grow more intimate. And then we look at the goals that people have in their communication. And throughout all of these sections in our book, we touch to culture and we touch to technology and we bring in research about health, so that we don't have a single touchstone for the book, but that we touch to a lot of different contexts and integrate a lot of different areas where interpersonal communication is relevant to the communication that people enact.
I think one advantage, too, about being a new book in this market is that we come from a place that is informed by our contemporary environment. So some of these books that have been in production for longer periods of time might have a boxed feature, for example, on gender and communication or culture and communication, or even a boxed feature on technology and communication. And I think that when the interpersonal communication discipline was kind of first becoming more cognizant of culture and communication, or trying to raise students' awareness of the importance of culture and gender and communication experiences, having these called out boxes in each chapter perhaps made a really important statement in featuring those. But we write in a time in which there's a widespread appreciation for the role of culture and gender and communication experiences, and to treat technology as a different, somehow unique and distinct venue for interpersonal communication feels false now, because I have an 11-year-old son, and for him, texting is how he communicates with mom. It's not some special kind of interpersonal communication. So rather than having boxed out discussions of technology and communication, or communication and health, or communication and culture, these discussion topics are throughout our book. So every time we're raising an example or trying to unpack a research finding or to share a tip, we turn regularly to examples from technology and communication, health and communication, workplace and culture. So all of these topics just become woven throughout our book, because I think now we're in a place where we all understand that these are all parts of interpersonal communication and they don't need to be set aside. So we're fortunate that people have laid that groundwork before, and our book reflects a different place in time.
So you've really put together an integrated approach to studying interpersonal communication.
I believe that's true.